Alright guys, so it's the second video in the series. This time I've decided to do 1 to 10 mil cash piles, as there's quite a lot of demand for information on that sort of cash pile region. So I've decided to do the video with a 5 mil cash pile, so it's in between, so it should be irrelevant. So as you can see, 5 mil in the money bag. So the most important thing really with this cash pile is assuming that you've just starting to get into flipping, so you're going to really want to sort out which techniques work for you and decide what items you like doing. What I recommend for lower cash piles, and even any cash pile because it simply works, is you just go to the RS homepage, go to the G, and you click on most traded. Now I'll zoom out a little bit so it will all fit in. But so as you can see, here's the most traded items. These are great to do with any cash pile, but preferably with a low one they're even better, because there's so many of them sold, and because of this they buy and sell really quickly. The margins on these items are usually quite low, but because they buy and sell so fast, they're pretty good to do. Forget everything pretty much under I'd say 50 GP really for active flipping. So that's, don't do feathers, spirit shards, just ridiculous. Maple logs aren't worth it, they're like 20 GP. Vials, I would say no. And stuff like mind runes and water runes and air runes and stuff like that, it just don't bother with it. Cannonballs are good, the PRS is good. If you've watched my vid on increasing your limits, then you know that you can make like 1 mil an hour just with that. Coal can be good, and pretty much anything on this list works. So you got your D-bones, your red chins, and then going down you've got your sharks, and then your free-to-play fish like your swordfish and things like that. So remembering that green D-leather is free-to-play. Green D-leather isn't free-to-play, even though the green D-hide bodies are free-to-play. So you've got to bear that in mind whilst flipping. Like, a lot of people think that PRS is members only, but of course it's free to play as well. But I mean, anything off this list is usually pretty good to do, and as you can see, millions are sold every week, so it's usually quite fast buying and selling. So going back to choosing a flip item, you can either choose one of these, or you can choose lower priced common items such as D-boots, whips, bandos boots, and then going up slightly you've got things like barrows items and stuff like that. But because of your low cash pile, you have to weigh up, is it worth buying and selling 2 barrow sets and making 20k on each one, so making 40k profit, or is it better buying 10 whips, making 1.5k on each one, and possibly doing that 4 times in the space that it would take to buy and sell 2 barrow sets. So these things you've got to weigh up, and it's basically trial and error. So we'll do some flipping now and find some items to do. So we'll go to the G, and we'll try out dragon boots. I mean, if you've seen any of my other videos, you probably know how I find out prices. With lower price items, I do literally just use this buy plus 5%, and then sell it at minus 5%, and you get the price difference in the items. So for here instance, you've got 109,356 and 112k. So the lower price is what you would buy at, and the higher price is what you sell at. I like to round over, so for the buy price we'll be using 110, just over we'll be buying 10 D boots at 110, just slightly over, always rounding over by 1 GP, and then out of our 5mm cash pile we've got nearly 4mm left, so we can have these items going on the side there. And then if you want to use one of the items that are in high demand that I just showed you off the most traded list, we can pick U-logs off that list and buy around, we can buy 6k of those. Or 7. So we can buy 7k U-logs. So what we're going to do, we'll find the buy price in those. It's usually only about 2 GP margin, so you'll see what I mean with items such as that are off that list, such as U-logs and runes. Sometimes there is a 1 GP margin, and because of that it makes it very slow to buy and sell, because there's obviously such a small difference. In this example there's a 9 GP margin, which is actually pretty good. So the limit on logs is 25k, in case you didn't know, but obviously we can't afford that many with the 5mm cash pile. So we're going to put in our offer at 520, and they should buy nicely now. All of our D boots are bought, as you can see it was really fast, and then the sell price that we originally got was 112k, is dead on, but we're going to go for 111, slightly under 112k even. So we're looking at a 2k margin, so 20k per flip on the D boots, and that is with just over a 1.1mm cash pile. As you can see, they sell extremely fast. It looks like the U-logs are going to take quite a while, and this is where you've got to weigh up your time to your profit. As you can see, it's taking probably maximum 5 minutes to buy and sell 10 D boots for 20k profit. With this, say we generated a 5 GP margin, you're making 30k, so 50% more off this, but it might take twice as long to sell. So if buying and selling 6k U-logs takes more than 7.5 minutes, then it's better off finding another item similar to the D boots. But if it works out that it's less than 7.5 minutes, then that is exactly the same profit per hour as the D boots. So on this we'll be looking at, say, 1 flip every 5 minutes. So if we've got 40k profit every 5 minutes from both of the items, so that's 12 times that an hour. So we're looking at just under 500k an hour with your 5mm cash pile, and that's just on average flips. Once the U-logs have sold as well, I'll show you an example you can use with whips. However, if you've only got 5mm, the margin with whips is usually pretty much the same as with D boots, and obviously D boots are 4 times as less, so you can buy 4 D boots for every 1 whip and you'd be getting the same profit margin in it. So whips, I wouldn't really recommend them. With the 5mm cash pile, you're better off doing a combination of D boots and an item that's in high demand, such as logs, planks, runes, fish. You get the general idea of what type of items they are. If you've got any cash left over, for example we've got 766k, you just take a look at the list and you can pick anything. We could do 2k cannonballs, or we could be doing 1.5k bloods or something just on the side, just to keep things ticking over. But if we're looking at that 1 GP margin, you've got to weigh up 1 GP on a blood rune, which, like, let's have a look how much it is, 396 GP. Or we could get 1 GP on flanks, which is 67 GP. So we could buy 6 times as many flanks and still get 1 GP profit. So for the same investment you'd be getting 6 times as much profit, so obviously it's much better to do flax. So we'll go back to the G now, and we'll find the buy and sell prices of flax, and we can get 10k of those straight in with the money that we have left over. Okay, so the buy price is 72, so we'll try and sell it at just 73. If it takes more than 10 seconds to sell one, I would just choose another item because it's not worth it. So it looks like that's taking a bit too long just for a 1 GP margin, so we'll just find a different item. It's not really any drama, we'll just use lobster. So the limit on these is the cooked ones are 10k and the raw ones are 20. Fucking hell, they've gone up loads. I remember maybe a month ago they were like 110. So we'll choose, say, going down the list now. We could do monkfish, we could buy like 1k of those. I think we might do them actually. Okay, so we'll put in an offer here for some monkfish. So 610 instant buy. So we'll be looking at 585, so that's a pretty big margin on the monkfish, which is pretty cool. So we'll go in and buy 1k of those at 591 and leave those in there. We'll just dump this off because it's using up space in the GE. As you can see, we could have bought it at, if we got any money left, we got 185k. So if you wanted, it's best to use all your money because obviously the more flips you got going on at once, then the more profit you're making. So we'll put in an offer for 2k at 69 and then sell them at 72. So we'll just keep doing the deboots. The U-logs are buying nicely. So of course with an item that you're buying a few k of, just stick the sell offer in at the same time that you're buying, because it just speeds things up. The more slots you use, the more profit you're making, so it works well. And see if any monkfish are buying at that price. A bit slow to start off with, we'll see if it speeds up, and if it doesn't then we'll raise it to 601 GP, because then we've still got the 8 GP margin because we'll be selling at 609. So we'll just leave that for another minute or so, and if things don't start picking up, then we'll increase the prices. It's looking like it's starting to move though. What you got to weigh up in a situation where it's buying a little bit slowly is you've got the 18 GP margin if you let it buy at 591, or you've got the 8 GP margin if you buy it at 601. So it would have to be over twice as fast flips at 601 to actually equate to making the same profit. So, and at the end of the day, it's less hassle to you if you're only changing offers once and making 18k, rather than changing it twice and making 8k each time. Then you may as well just hang on and just be patient. I think that's the main key with flipping, is that you do have to be patient and don't think, oh my god, it's not selling, I'm losing loads of money, because you just don't have to worry. With items that are in high demand, they will always sell, so you don't really have to worry about it. So with this, we've got the 2 GP margin on the flax. We'll see if any U-logs are selling, and if they're not, we'll just lower the price to 524. Because it's all about trying to keep things running, so you've constantly got buy offers in, and you've constantly got sell offers in, because the more things you flip in, the more profit you make. It might seem like I'm repeating myself, but these are just things that you really need to just get used to, because no matter what your cash pile is, these tips will help you increase your profits, whether you're flipping 10 AGSs or you're flipping 10 whips, you know. So you can just keep repeating items. If things start drying up and you sell, you buy, it's taking ages to buy or taking ages to sell, just find the new prices on it, and it'll start picking up again. You usually only have to alter it by a few GP, such like I did on the U-logs, and you know, it started picking up. So as you can see, with high value items, they sometimes go through stages of they don't buy or don't sell any for say 3 minutes or whatever, and then suddenly like loads will sell or loads will buy at once. It's like I was getting one of my friends to buy some D-bones for me the other day, because I was stocking up and trying to increase my limits on them, and he was like, none are buying, shall I change the price? And I was like, no, just give it 2 minutes and then all of them will buy at once. And pretty much that's exactly what happened. None bought for like 10 minutes and then suddenly 20k sold. It's just the way that the high demand items work, because obviously people are just dumping thousands of them at once if they're collecting them. Especially with D-bones, you got the bots just selling them, so you'll always get something like that going. But I hope you get the general idea with how to flip with a lower cash pile, and obviously the more money you've got, the more you can make. So good luck with your flipping, and I'll be making the next vid for the Flip Like a Boss series in the next few days, or I might even do it today and upload it in the next few days, and hopefully we'll get all this series finished within the next week or so. So see you in the clan chat, and don't forget to join in with our new site at eliteslounge.com and get involved.